Get in, nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. I've decided we're going to go for another puppet in Indonesia here. I think it's going to be Siak. So if we vassalize them, it's 9.2 infamy. For Aceh, it's 11.4, which is interesting. Aceh has only a GDP of about 400k, whereas Siak has almost 700k, or 750k. So I think we're going to go for Siak. Siak has actually a decent armed force, but only a decent one. Oh, actually, nah, I think we're going to go for Aceh. I changed my mind. The fact that we're still so limited on fleets, like we still haven't been successful at getting our naval base here fully employed. Let me just unpause this for a bit and see if this starts hiring faster. See, it's not. Is Kansai has a university, so it has the capacity to provide qualifications, but I just don't know. In any case, let's go ahead and do it. These numbers change up? I think they did. Curious. Maybe I was looking at Conquer, I think. That's what happened. Alright, well anyway, here we go. Interestingly, Sulu seems to be... Sulu, despite being our vassal, seems to be permanently occupied by us. I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem, but I guess we'll find out. What a strange situation. Alright, we're getting these government admin buildings built up. So I'm still remembering what we've got going on in this run. We definitely need another round of shipyards, but we're still low on coal and wood. Yeah, wood's definitely a priority. Tooling's definitely a priority. So let's go ahead and get some more tooling workshops built. Oh my goodness, we're having infrastructure shortages. This is bad. We're going to need to build ports. Quite a few of them. Okay, where else are we building stuff? We're building a bunch of mines in Kyushu. We're building government admin in Shikoku. How much do we have in... Okay. We are going to need to build another port in Shikoku as well. And then how's Kyushu doing? Kyushu is short as well, so we are going to need another port in Kyushu as well. One more year till we hit railways. We are doing well here. Aceh has not successfully called anyone else in. So hopefully, once this war gets done, we might even be in the black financially. Hey, we got progress on agrarianism. That's excellent. Stall chance is still pretty high on account of the shogunate does not want to switch to agrarianism, but happily we've got a movement. Everything else is looking good, so I'm hoping that will continue to go well for us in the future. How's our navy going? Okay. Settle down, settle down. Do we need to promote you? Maybe promote you by 1. Is there anywhere I can check your command limit? So over here, yeah, it's 20. So we should have you fully equipped, but obviously this naval base is taking forever to get itself going. Still, time waits for no one. Who's my offense guy? Well, you're innovative, and that's maybe enough. We'll do a naval invasion here. So that's going to take a little time, but hopefully we'll be able to win this battle. Our armed forces are very happy, and they, as we established before, only have... Oh, interesting. They've got line infantry for the conscript battalions, but... well, they did go up to line. Oh, but that's good for us. That means they'll have a decaying offense penalty. Hopefully, we'll be able to slip through here and win this fight before they're able to get properly mobilized using our superior skirmish infantry method. Let me see. How much more of a buffer do we have here? We're at less than 1 million in the reserve right now, so I'm really, really hoping we can get things going okay here. Interestingly, oh my goodness, I have 11 glassworks. How much lead have we got in our market? Not much. So that should be something we should work on. Wait. No, I have the capacity to produce enough lead to actually run these at leaded glass level. And that'll provide glass for everybody. So hopefully that'll include a nice increase in standard of living for our higher level. Oof, not great. So we got a difficult landing. That's not necessarily a problem. But we need to get some... Oh, hey! We got there. We got there. We're winning now. Wonderful. If I had more than one admiral, I would be able to queue up another invasion, but I don't, so... that is what it is. Excellent. So we are winning on this naval invasion, and then once we get properly landed, we'll be... because our insufficient naval support debuff is going down as our naval bases get more and more fully employed. That is very good. Sometimes it feels like naval bases are sort of chronically hard to get fully employed on, but I don't know. It's an odd one. Our defense seems to have gone up a little bit, but our offense is also going up. So I'm hoping that once we get some fresh battalions in here, we'll be able to win land battles more effectively. Excellent. We're on adoption already. 2 very good rolls. That's wonderful. Whew, fingers crossed that we're able to keep that going. I know Liddy Statistics is not always on our side in Victoria 3, but... weird. Wonder why... yeah, there we go. So I wonder why they're only moving into position right now. Alright, so 15 against 7... Alright, now because of our superior offense, we have a very solid victory here. So that should mean we'll have the country fully occupied in plenty of time. And obviously their war exhaustion is going down much, much faster than ours, because they're more than half occupied. They changed from 1.0, so there's I think, logarithmic scale of war exhaustion from occupation. So they get -2 because they're 50% occupied, but it still goes up to -10 at 100%. So anyway, we'll see if their flag also goofs up the way Sulu's did. Continue to build up these ports. After that, we are absolutely going to need another round of shipyards. And I'm going to put them in Kyushu because we need primarily more clippers for our ports. Actually going to put, because clippers are fairly expensive. What's the base clipper output of one level of shipyards? 35. We're going to put 2 additional levels. Let me see. So what's going to be needed after that? In terms of the development of the economy, we're going to need engine industries. That's what we're going to need. Motor industries, rather. And the best place to put motor industries, I think, is going to be Chubu. And that should serve to provide all of the engines needs for the railways we're going to build. And that will put us in a situation where we can really have enough infrastructure to function. I'm going to be so excited for the amount of infrastructure we'll have, friends. I cannot even begin to explain to you how pleased I'll be with that situation. Alright, so 23 to get that above 0. They're fully occupied, so it should only take 1 more week, basically. And then we'll have the situation completely under control. Wonderful. Propose peace deal. And now Aceh is our vassal. Wonderful. So let's take a look at our diplomatic pact income now. We're still getting 1.87 from Brunei, 800 from Sulu, and 560 from Aceh. That's just fine. Still a little... Oh, but we'll have an ally when we invade Siak. So let's just go ahead and wait for our infamy to decay down to 0. And then I'm feeling pretty confident in my capacity to fight Siak. We're still their superior in military technology overall. And they're superior in numbers as well. Come on, Agrarianism. 3 for 3. Let's go. Let's do it. Come on. Law debate success. That's good. That's very good. Number of loyalists is increasing. That's making me very pleased. What's next on the technology docket? Ah, yes, we have a lot of things. So we are at our innovation cap based on our literacy. Unfortunately, the fact that we have serfdom means we can't improve the schools. And that's going to make things a little difficult for us, but not impossible. But we will need to do a little bit of finagling in order to make things work just the way we would like them to. What's everyone doing financially? I really wish you would get happier, Shogunate, because then you would be providing me my tasty investment pool contribution. The investment pool is quite full, actually. I wonder if we don't have the construction capacity to make use of it all, or if that's just Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder if it's just a thing having to do with the balance of what gets used and when. And science improving relations, wonderful. So under agrarianism, the private sector will get 50% of the construction, as opposed to traditionalism where it only gets 25%. This also reduces our taxation capacity, while providing a reduction to bureaucracy population cost multiplier. So I don't know how this is, and that's all going to go away. Both of those are going to go away when we switch to agrarianism. And the private sector is going to get 50% of the construction pool rather than 25%. So hopefully that's going to be really, really good for our finances, because going up in taxation capacity could not but be very good in our current situation on account of we're on low tax capacity for virtually all of our areas. I'm going to go ahead and queue these motor industries up to the top now that Chubu has just a little bit near enough infrastructure to handle me building something else there. How's our infamy? Infamy is down to 0.1. Let's just give it one more month changeover to get down to 0. Again, maybe I'm just kind of being superstitious about that, but, you know. Right, there's 0. I'm feeling pretty confident, so let's go after Siak. We'll face Siak, Burma, and Siam. Oh, hold on. Let's not. I don't necessarily want... Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at... Try and pick up what you're putting down. Okay, so Siam, you have no army I need to be concerned about. Burma... Okay, you also have no army I need to be concerned about. I seem to think you can support higher military methods with your conscription centers, but only by a little bit. It's definitely a risk to go to war with all those places, so I'm going to look for another target. Blungan, your GDP is so low that it's probably not going to be worth it. Magunan Dao, you have a defensive pact with the Dutch East Indies, so I don't want to target you. Kutai, you're a potential target, but your GDP is also really, really low. Lanfang, yours is a little higher, but you're a tributary of China. That's Portugal. Bhutan. Your GDP is even lower. What about Tidor? You're a puppet of the Dutch East Indies as well. Alright, so... There are a very small number of tempting targets here, but I've gone after the main ones. It would be an expensive war to go after Siak. There's railways. Wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and not do that. For now. Yes! Agrarianism. Oh man, that's extremely lucky for us. So, first things first, I'm going to get one railway built in every state in Japan. Put the one in Hokkaido at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and intersperse these railways ahead of here because the port in Kyushu is not nearly as important now. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and cancel it because the railway in Kyushu is going to provide all of the infrastructure I could possibly need in Kyushu. So that'll be radical. And then once we've got motor industries running, we'll be able to produce the motors that we need to run these railways. And that'll be excellent. Our finances have improved significantly. But now we're running a bureaucracy shortage with a tax waste issue. Okay, so that was the reduction from... So overall, our taxation capacity has gone way up. But now we're suffering unrealized taxes from this due to our low bureaucracy. So we are also going to need to build up bureaucracy. Let me see. At this technological level, we're getting 50 bureaucracy per level. So we need a total of 6 levels. We'll put them in our most populated areas. I'm thinking 2 in Kansai, 2 in Kanto, and 2 in Chubu. All these areas are short on taxation capacity. Yes, they sure are. Yeah, okay. So none of those is going to be taking us over our proposed level. In fact, I'm going to take this up to the top here. So part of the reason that really helped out our overall financial situation is because the amount of the investment pool that belongs to the private sector is now a lot higher. They're using 50% of the investment pool, and as you can see, that allows them to work on 2 separate projects at the same time. But it's reduced the amount of construction that the government can put into any given construction project. So as you can see, we're building government constructions a little slower. That having been said, that's completely okay with me, because I am very happy to have a much larger proportion of contributions to the investment pool coming from basically everyone. So like traditionalism gets a 25% penalty from aristocrats and a 50% from capitalists and shopkeepers. So moving from traditionalism to agrarianism increases the amount from aristocrats by 50 percentage points, and the amount from capitalists by 25 percentage points, and the amount from both shopkeepers and farmers by 50 percentage points, which is not a lot because those 2 groups don't provide a huge amount of investment, but it's still pretty solid overall. I'm still feeling some temptation to take over Siak, but it's a pretty solid network of defensive pacts. I think I'm going to sit here at a positive gold reserve for a little bit before I do that, so that I can afford to give myself a real chunk of conscription before I go into that war. I also really strongly desire to have a full navy so that I can potentially raid. I think it'll be this node that's going to be the supply node between these two. And that'll let me interrupt their supplies, and that's going to be really important because I don't know if I can win a war against the sheer numbers that both of these countries have access to. 45 battalions and 50 battalions here, plus another 45 in conscripts that might be better equipped. Not necessarily that much better equipped, but better. Let's go ahead and boost the speed up a little bit here. I think at the end of 59. Actually, let me look at reforms. We just did agrarianism. There's currency standards. So once we go to per capita taxation, that'll actually not increase revenue from the current tax law that much. Obviously, proportional is a target. This looks like it's going down, and it technically is for what we're currently doing, but it'll be much, much higher. Excellent. Empiricism has begun to spread to us. That is very good. Empiricism is a fun society technology. It was actually what we're currently researching, which is wonderful. So hopefully you'll knock out a bunch else of these society techs. It's going to be a minute before we get Central Archives, but Central Archives is kind of the break point where it'll finally be basically viable to really try to fix our taxation capacity problem, because Central Archives increases the amount of taxation capacity you get from each government building from 10 to 15. So that's what's new, what's on the docket technologically. Then we'll go to the water tube boiler and finally chemical bleaching. Chemical bleaching will essentially give us the capacity to produce the paper that we're going to be using to build up that bureaucratic capacity without being without building more paper mills, which is kind of ultimately the goal. And then in terms of our economic growth, we're just basically working on getting railroads running and getting the country, getting travel to be a thing in the country, because right now travel's not a thing in the country. And that will additionally help our coal mines be more profitable. Now, the coal mines are actually decently profitable because the Atmo pump engine being used by our various buildings uses that coal. But, yeah. Do we have access to slaughterhouses? Do we have the tools to support switching over to the slaughterhouses method? I think yes. It doesn't actually bother me if these livestock ranches go down in profitability, because the lower profitability they are, the more the aristocracy will not make them, which is kind of what I want, because I want my chemical plants to be providing the vast majority of my my fertilizer, because that's the way we keep explosives expensive enough for them to not be operating at a loss. As you can see, the motor industries are not producing much, but that's because nobody's buying motors on account of there's no railways yet, or there's barely a railway. There's one railway. Oh, let's go ahead and switch these over to wooden passenger carriages. It's going to produce a little bit of extra transport, which is going to be used by... I feel strongly that there are people in our country who wish to purchase transport on our delightful railways at a very reasonable price. So you can reduce 15 infrastructure per level. If we keep it at cargo prioritization, that will not affect infrastructure. Alright, perfect. I thought it did, but maybe I'm wrong. Cool. I got caught up in talking about stuff, and the year changed over. Yeah, we'll go a little farther. Maybe we'll just go to the end of March. Maybe we'll go to the mid-year. We'll go to the mid-year. I do want to get working on knocking out the conclusion of this this little bureaucracy situation. So overall, producing additional transport, there are a lot of buy orders of transport, which is exciting. I'm really hoping that more people can ride on trains. This is the Goldfields depleted event. We're going to go with unfortunate again, because migration attraction does not affect me on account of I do not let people move. This is going to allow us to build 2 additional levels of gold mines in Hokkaido, which means that actually, well, let me see, how much are we getting from minting? And how much of that's from the gold mines? Are these gold mines able to fully employ? No, they're not. Interesting. Man, Hokkaido is really having a labor shortage. Ooh, there's Bessemer process. That's wonderful. This enables Bessemer process for steel mills. Currently, steel mills use the blister steel process. It consumes 40 iron and 30 coal and turns into 65 steel. Oh, nitroglycerin spreading to us. That's really good. The Bessemer process will will basically double the amount of iron used from 40 to 80, but will produce an additional 50 steel. And we're going to go ahead and do that, even though that's going to make these steel mills less productive, because we're going to need more steel. This early on in the game, it's pretty much never wrong to build up more efficiency into the system. We cannot afford to do crystal glass in our glassworks because that is going to consume so much more lead. And we actually don't have that much lead available in our economy right now. Dutch East Indies is colonizing eastern New Guinea here. Okay, so we are not technically... We are subsidizing these, but we are not paying to have them subsidized. I think we may eventually, but currently they're making a lot of money from outputting transport. Got 2 operating now, and we'll have more later. And I'm going to just see how much getting this completed increases our, improves our financial situation. I am seeing 18% tax waste from this, but I'm not sure exactly how much that is. In terms of sort of gross income. Oh my gosh, that increased so much. And there's empiricism. Wonderful. There's this little extra influence as well, which is nice. I'll start improving relations with the country I conquered. That'll be helpful, won't it? Cool. Revenue from the vassals is still solid. And banking is spreading to us. That's wonderful, because that's what we're currently researching right now. Actually, we're making really good, we're getting really good tech spread rolls, which is excellent. What tech spreads to you can be such an asset in the early game, particularly when you're working on sort of must-have techs like Central Archives is for our run. It's kind of bananas. That said, we are getting towards the end of June, and I did say I was going to end in at the beginning of 1860, and it's now the middle of 1860, which is fine. So yeah, that was a productive episode. We got railways. We're now getting them built. We vassalized Aceh. So I'm feeling pretty good. I've had fun. I hope you have had fun as well, and I will see you all on the other side.